Cowgill, and today I'm here in the beautiful Marshall Meadows Country House Hotel here in Berwick-upon-Tweed. We're just south of the Scottish border, and I've got the lovely Mike Ross with me here today, who's the designer and founder of the Dreamask sleep mask.
Good morning, Alice. Thanks very much indeed for doing this for me.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure, and thanks for being here again. I'm a little bit worried because we've got a wrench on the table, so tell me a little bit more about that before we go on.
Well, as you know, we've had this shoot booked for weeks, and we were overtaken by this book which has come out about sleeping, which goes on and on and on about sleeping masks.
Right.
And the professor who wrote the book, as I was doing well until Tuesday, when it said in the paper, buy a cheap sleeping mask. You know, we tell people to buy the most expensive mattress they can afford, the most expensive shoes they can afford. Why would you tell someone to buy a cheap sleeping mask? I bought a cheap wrench off of eBay, and the first time I used it, I tried to take a wheel nut off, it snapped at the end. So,
point proven. Perfect. Well, I see your point, and we've got these gorgeous masks all in front of us today. And as you know, I agreed to wear one for a couple of weeks. Amazing. I can't explain just how great they've been. And
because you were previously using one, weren't you?
I was using one that I think most people come across the first time they've ever seen a mask is one of these, as you say, cheap, very disposable masks that you'll get on an aeroplane, one of these eye masks. And since using one of yours, which are obviously hugely different, far superior, much larger to begin with, as soon as my head hits the pillow, I'm asleep.
Whoa.
So I'm just really intrigued to know, a little bit about your story, because we're 30 years on, and can you just tell me a bit more about, how this eye mask, this dream mask, came about, really, mate?
Well, firstly, Alice, I'm thrilled that you're so pleased with it, because obviously you've got a beautiful little nose and I've got this huge, great big one, and a design which fits both those must have something going for it. Well, 30 odd years ago, I was working in London in a very, very pressurised, stressful job, and I worked shifts, and I was trying to sleep around the job and then later on children, and I needed something. I knew, particularly in the summer, that I had problems with light pollution on my eyes. So I started buying masks, and I eventually settled on an airline mask, not that dissimilar to the one that you had. I was getting iller and iller. I was spending a lot of time in hospital, and I knew that something was wrong, and I went into a period of quite prolonged sick leave, and I had to have a project to keep me busy. So I thought there must be a better way of keeping light out of your eyes, and there was the Dream Mask.
Okay. And how did you come about the design? Because it's so different to those aeroplane ones that we just touched on. So, what made you think to do something radical and a bit drastic?
This huge nose, Alice. You can see what made me drive to design it. To be honest, the main design to get absolute 100% light-proof, but still breathable, so that your skin pores could breathe and what have you. That took a week or two around the sewing machine. I was sitting there working, but I couldn't solve the problem of the conch. And one night I was sitting watching television, as we occasionally do, and it was a medical drama. There was a doctor getting gowned up to do an operation, put a mask on, and a nurse squeezed a wire onto the top of his nose. And that was the eureka moment.
Well, that's right, because you've got a small band of sort of copper wire in these, don't you?
Yes.
These dream masks, so that it adjusts to the individual's face and their profile, because as you said, your face shape is different to mine, and mine is different to everybody else's out there. So that's a great idea that you've come to there.
Well, I'm so glad that you liked it. I mean, I actually created my account on eBay as Mike Mask Man. That's my eBay account, because several years ago it was my intention to start making. Originally these were sold through department stores and travel stores, luggage stores,
right.
including Jenner's of Princess Street in Edinburgh.
Fantastic.
But the problem with that, well, you don't get any feedback. It's very, very difficult. I got a lovely letter once from a lady who has thyroid problems,
right.
and one of the issues with thyroid is that your eyes bulge forward and sometimes your eyelids can open during the night while you're asleep.
Okay.
So that was an area that hadn't occurred to me.
Yeah.
But recently I had decided to go into this, and I thought that my market was still as it always had been: shift workers, travellers, you know, people who are perhaps athletes or what have you. They're maybe going to go away and they know they're going to be sharing a room with maybe another athlete or someone that they don't really very well know. A bit like Miss Congeniality, you know.
I can picture it now. The two of them sharing the room, one of them's lying down and the other one's...
Well, it's a way of saying, look, you know, you've got some privacy here, you know, if you want to turn the light on in the night, or if you want to get undressed or what have you. And I started to read about this. Well, for over 2 decades now, medical professionals have been looking into everything from breast cancer to Alzheimer's, you name it. And they're all coming back to a common point in the front of all of our brains called the pineal gland.
The pineal gland? Okay.
Yeah.
And what does this gland do then?
Well, it creates a hormone which controls our internal body clocks, our circadian rhythms.
Oh, right, that sounds a bit dramatic, doesn't it?
Well, it's as dramatic as it comes, because that hormone actually puts us down into the absolute deep sleep, normally in the early hours of the morning, which allows the body to go about curing all of the ills, and it looks out, we're told, cancer cells. If you type sleep in total darkness into Google, you come up with about 700,000 hits.
Right, goodness. The problem is I'm a little bit sceptical with everything that we read online. There are so many new cures and fashion trends that are out there. It's just knowing what to believe and, you know, what's going to work. But I quite like the idea that there's no sort of pills involved. It's all quite a natural remedy. So have you got any more information that would support, you know, wearing one of these dream masks and just the benefits that it would have then?
Well, yes, indeed. And as I say, 700,000 hits. I've printed off 1 or 2 here.
Okay, nice.
But, you know, the University of Haifa in Israel, a 10-year study of women, and they found that women who worked shifts had a 22% higher rate of breast cancer than they should have, than ordinary working women.
And they're putting this down to a disruption in their sleep patterns, I assume.
Putting it down to, what they've discovered is that the pineal gland is directly connected to the optic nerve.
Right, okay.
And for millions and millions and millions of years, since we were basically slime in a swamp, it's been absolutely essential for life forms to know whether it was dark or light. And for millions of years, there was sunlight and there was moonlight.
Right, yep.
And then suddenly, about 120, 130 years ago, along came Thomas Edison. He invented the electric light bulb.
And that was the end of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Made a complete and utter mess of it. And as I say, we've got this book out by a professor of sleep science, and he is promoting sleeping masks all the way through the book. Just last week on BBC Two, Trust Me, I'm a Doctor, wear a sleeping mask. And I'm just rather overwhelmed. I thought I was a shift worker, an ex-shift worker with a big nose.
Yes. But obviously there's a much larger problem out there.
There is a huge problem.
And I can completely understand what you're talking about with this light pollution, with us not having the separation between day and night. We've got not only street lights outside our bedroom windows, we've got the light on the TV, you know, the lights that you plug in for the kids' bedrooms. There's so much, and all of these little pinpricks of light must have that effect. I mean,
well, I'm no scientist, I'm just an idiot with a big nose. But the scientists are telling us that any amount of light coming in through the eyes prevents or reduces the production of melatonin, which is what this hormone is called.
So we've heard of that because we're told when we're younger to have a hot glass of milk and the melatonin's in that. So is that the same hormone then?
Well, not really. What the glass of milk is supposed to do is relax you into sleep.
Okay.
In the same way that I have, now that I've read all this stuff and been terrified by it, I'm still eating roast potatoes, by the way. But this is just so natural. I mean, reading single cell, what do you call them, amoeba? Animals, they're not animals, it's a single cell. They have to know the difference between light and dark, because when it's light, they power themselves with photosynthesis. And when it's dark, they have to use a completely different system to make themselves work.
Okay, so these masks here then, we're going to block out all light from that?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
100%.
I think we should maybe give that a little try just now.
Well, it just so happens that I have a still camera with me, a little Nikon with a flash. Unfortunately, this conservatory that we're sitting in is too bright, the flash isn't working. But if we could go into that dark corridor,
okay,
we could give it a test.
Alright, after you then, Mike.
Don't do this at home, viewers. Well, Alice, we've come into this slightly darker corridor where hopefully the flash will work.
Okay.
So, would you like to slide the mask
I
on?
will indeed, Mike. Here we go.
And then I want you to honestly tell me that your eyelids are open.
Eyes are open, and at the moment I haven't got any light at all. It's completely pitch black.
There we are. Did you hear that?
I heard it go off, but I didn't see anything.
Well,
did we have a flash?
You did have a flash.
So that tells us everything then. So even as close as that,
yeah,
we didn't have any light pollution, which is amazing.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And that is crucial because I'm sure you know what a pinhole camera is.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So the tiniest amount of light coming through a mask when your eyes are fully dilated like that is going to have an absolute maximum effect.
Perfect. That's amazing. I can't believe that.
Okay, viewers, well, you saw the lovely Alice wearing it and being flashed at. If you'd like to see some truth, if it's okay with Ollie the cameraman, I'd like to show it to you. Alice, would you hold it over the lens, please?
Just put this over the lens.
Now, you're going to see nothing at all, but you're going to hear the flash go off. And I can assure you, and I'm sure Alice would back me up.
There was a flash. The mask is over the camera, so fingers crossed you didn't see anything, because I certainly didn't.
Well, my eyes are certainly blind.
Okay, so I think probably everyone would like to know, Mike, how much is it going to cost me for the perfect sleep?
Well, for you, Alice, for being so wonderful, for nothing, for life.
Oh, perfect.
But we're not a charity.
That's the deal.
It's trying to be a business. $29.95 is, but there will be some specials. I've just got some lace, some hand woven silk in from India, and there might be one or two that just come in a wee bit more than that. But $29.95 is going to change. $29.95 is going to change your lives, people.
Well, I think we can all agree, under £30 for a restful sleep, for waking up in the morning and feeling energised and ready to go to work is not a lot to pay. I can certainly say that since wearing one of these masks, wearing one of your dream masks, has changed the way I get up in the morning. I used to struggle, I used to have to wait for that alarm to ping, and I'd grudgingly drag myself out of bed, but actually I'm waking up at least half an hour earlier because I've slept in one of these, and I can honestly say that I feel like I've got more energy and I'm actually ready to get up ahead of when, my alarm's set. I think it's terrific.
That's wonderful, Alice, and we're having this discussion in February. Just imagine when there's 21 hours of light in June, just how much you're going to value it.
I know, I'll have a spring in my step, I'll be jumping about. Perfect, so I just want to say thanks for coming in today. I really appreciated running through just all the facts and figures and the helpful benefits to wearing one of your dream masks. And I would recommend that anybody goes out, gets in touch with you, and makes the purchase and has that restful night's sleep that we all crave. So thanks again.
Thanks, Alice.